going to prepare classic butter cookies, which I think most of you would love it, and royal icing, which makes a perfect cookie. I love these cookies because they keep well longer than most cookies, having rich buttery flavor and a satisfying crisp tender texture. At first I'm getting the dry ingredients ready. So for this recipe I'm taking 225 grams fine flour, pop it in a sieve. This is to make sure that there aren't any clumps. Add in 1/4 spoon salt, .30 grams cornstarch or corn flour. The reason I'm adding cornstarch is to hold the cookie really well and not to spread. It helps the cookie to be crisp and soft as well. And let me sift it. Set the dry ingredients aside. Take a bigger bowl, nice and dry, and pop in 225 grams room temperature unsalted butter. Make sure it is at room temperature, else it might require more whisking, which should blow out the air in it. Whisk the butter a bit. I'm adding 90 grams granulated sugar and gonna whisk it till it is nice and fluffy. And when you whisk it, it goes a bit paler in color as well, which you wouldn't miss it. Scrape the sides off and whisk it again. By whisking it, it pumps air into the butter mix. Make sure that the sugar incorporates well in the butter. You can see there it is nice and fluffy and air is pumped into it. It just sticks on. I mean, it doesn't fall off, but it just sticks on to the spatula. I'm gonna take 2 egg yolks into the butter mix, separating the yolk from the white. Pop it in. I'm using 1 egg at a time. Whisk it a bit. And getting the other yolk ready. In goes the second yolk. And whisk it. You can see it is nice, airy, creamy, very good texture. I'm adding 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. This is to give a nice flavor. You could also use almond extract or other flavors to your preference. And give it a mix. Now I'm gonna add in the dry ingredients to the butter mix, which we set aside, half at a time. Give it a mix and then we can whisk it. The reason I'm not whisking it now is because I don't want a cloud of flour. Now add in the second half. And now I'm gonna whisk it a bit. I have whisked it all. Now you can see here, cornstarch makes the dough firm. It's not sticky. I've got a cling film ready for me to pop in the dough. Flattening it. I'm rolling it up to the desired thickness. I don't want it to be too thin, by the way. Yeah, this thickness will do. Seal it on all the sides. Perfect. And now I'm going to pop it in the fridge for an hour for the dough to be firm. I've taken it off the fridge. Let's remove the cling film. Place it on a flat surface. I've taken a silicone sheet. You can place it on any board, dust it with some flour so the dough doesn't stick onto it. Take the layer of dough and place it on the sheet. Dust the rolling pin with some flour and give it a roll. It's nice and firm. You can see that even as I press it down. I'm taking a heart-shaped cookie cutter and cut it into the desired shapes. You could either take circles or squares. Press it down and give it a wiggle. There you go. Look at that. I've got this thickness and place it on a tray lined with the silicone sheet. Don't worry if you don't have a silicone sheet, you can line the baking tray with a parchment paper or baking sheet. If it goes a bit loose, you can pop the dough in the freezer for about half hour and then cut it on into the desired shapes. I'm popping it in the freezer for half hour. I've just cut all the cookies into the desired shape and leaving some space in between. Do not squeeze the cookies, else if it spreads, it'll go shapeless. It will not retain its shape. That is the reason I've spaced it out. Bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for 12 to 15 minutes. And now I'm going to pop it in the preheated oven. In goes the cookies. Let's wait for it to bake. Now let's open it and see. It's time. You can see the color which is coming up slightly brown, so it's time to take. Let me pop it out. It has baked really well. It's perfectly baked and it just comes off like that because it is butter. It doesn't stick onto the parchment paper or silicone mat. In a clean bowl, I've scaled in 15 grams egg white. Transfer it to a larger bowl. I'm doing it in a very small quantity. And to it, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Whisk the egg white and the lemon juice. I'm whisking it till it incorporates well, not much. Whisk it at a medium speed. Adding in 125 grams of icing sugar. Pop it in. And take the spatula and give it a mix. Do not whisk at this point of time, because if you whisk it, it will form a cloud of icing. I can see it coming together. Scrape off the icing from the spatula and make sure you cover it up in a damp cloth, else it'll go crusty. I'm going to whisk it now. You can see it's solidifying. And that is it. It has incorporated really well. Scrape it off. Scrape off the sides. And now you can see the firm peak consistency where it sticks onto the spatula and stands up. It doesn't fall over. You can see that. It stands up against the gravity. Taking a piping bag, adding in not much, just a little of the icing. Make sure you cover the rest of the icing with a damp cloth, else royal icing can change its consistency incredibly quickly. Now I got the royal icing ready in my piping bag. Hold it tight like that, and I'm gonna do the border at first. Start from the middle. To this firm consistency of royal icing, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of water. Give it a mix and add another teaspoon. Do not pour it straight from the cup, but make sure you take a teaspoon and add it on. Now you can see it changes its consistency by adding a little bit water fairly quickly. So be very careful in adding water to the royal icing. Look at that, it falls like a ribbon there. So I'm gonna stop it there. Okay, I'm twisting the piping bag like so to make sure that it doesn't flow down, because it's a flowy consistency. And then I can release it off. Open the royal icing into the bag. I'm just getting it to the bottom. And now pipe it in the middle of the cookie. I finished piping in the icing. After it gets set, I'll be doing the stencils, some initials on the top. Alternatively, you can also use the ready to roll icing. Dust in some flour on the board and as well on the rolling pin and roll it nice and firm. I'm cutting it into the desired shape as I did for the cookie. Press it down, give it a little wiggle. There you go. And place it on the cookie. In the stiff consistency icing, I'm adding some color. The reason I'm adding color is because I'm going to do some initials on the icing. Mix it up. I've added a bit more color because I want it a bit darker. I'm going to do initials on these cookies. So I've got some stencils. You can just stick it on the icing. I'm going to do my initial and stencils on, smear the letter on, take it off. Yeah, perfect color. Look at that, it looks really nice and bright. So I have initials all the cookies on the icing. I got 30 cookies out of these measurements. It's ready to go on the table. It looks pretty, as you can see. Do try this recipe, and if you like it, do not forget to smash the subscribe button and leave your comments below. Thanks, bye!